This book is called Time for Cranberries, and it's a true story about a family in Wisconsin who farm cranberries. It is written by Lisl H. Detlefsen and illustrated by Jed Henry. And here is the author Lisl and her family out in the cranberry bog. You can see that they are wearing their waders, and they make cranberries that are purchased by Ocean Spray Company. So if you've ever seen the Ocean Spray label, you'll know that the cranberries might have come from this farm in Wisconsin. The white crane-shaped blossoms that arrive in the late spring are long gone. All summer, the vines have grown in sandy soil. Now they hang heavy with berries. The cool autumn winds have turned them a rich red color. That means time to start harvesting. Time for cranberries. And if you look at the shape of the flowers, they do look like cranes, like birds. Crane-shaped blossoms. Pink and white. Time for cranberries. And it looks like it's time for fall in this picture too. Dad's pickup truck thumps and bumps down the road. Mom and I bounce in the back seat as he drives through our cranberry marsh. It's harvest time, and I'm finally old enough to help. Dad asks, "Are you ready, Sam?" "Yes!" We hop out, and our waders slip and slurp in the mud. So you can see those tall boots that they're wearing. Those are called their waders because they can wade in the water with them and not get wet. The first beds where the cranberry vines grow have been flooded for picking. The tips of the vines peek out from the shallow water. So a bed is a place where they are growing. It's like the field. Dad steers the picking machine straight down the length of the bed. Trails of berries hop and pop up behind him. "When can we eat them?" I ask. "When we're done harvesting," Mom says. "Now it's time for booming." So remember, harvesting is when you pick the fruit after it's ripe. Let's find out what booming is. We keep flooding the picked bed until the vines are completely covered and the berries bob on the water. We pull the boom off of a giant spool, and it slaps and flaps the water as we toss it in. The foam-filled boom floats just like the cranberries. So it looks like the boom is this big, looks like a rope, but it's filled with foam so it'll float. And it looks like it's going to corral all the berries. I climb into our tractor with Dad, and Mom drives the other. As the tractors move, the boom collects the cranberries. I watch to make sure we catch every single one. "Time for eating?" I ask. "Not yet," Dad says. "Time for corralling." So you can see this long boom is going to push all the berries together, so it'll be easier to collect them. We wade in, huffing and puffing, as we lasso the cranberries. The wet boom zooms through my hands. I slide and slip. Water rushes into my waders and down to my toes. As I fall, Dad pulls me back up and hollers, "Time for splashing." Mom laughs as she sprays Dad with a wet blast of berries. We splish and splash until the autumn air makes me shiver. Dad lifts me out of the bed and I squish back to the pickup. "I always say you're not a cranberry grower until you fall in," Dad says. I have to change into dry clothes, but cranberry growers like me don't mind. You need to be prepared for everything when it's time for harvest. We continue corralling the cranberries into one big bunch called a pot. I need every bit of my super strength to help Dad heave the boom against the weight of all those berries. As we tighten the boom, 2 spinning paddles push the cranberries to the suction pump and into the cleaner. So here you can see they're putting it all together into a pot. And then the paddles are going to be lowered down and suction them all up into this tube and into the cleaner. So they're getting cleaned, and the clean ones go into the truck, and the unclean ones, or the dirt or whatever they find that's not part of the cranberries that are clean, go in here. Time for cleaning, Mom says. We climb the ladder to the top of the cleaner. Bright berries bounce and boogie down the metal grates. I check the spray bars to make sure the water pushes every bad berry and cranberry leaf through the grates and down to the trash truck. The good cranberries fall into the delivery truck and pile higher and higher. Look at all those cranberries, I say. Is it time for eating now? Almost, Dad says, but first it's time for delivery. While Dad drives down the highway, I pull the cord to blare the horn. The other drivers honk back and we wave along the way. At the receiving station, the smell of fresh cranberries fills the air. The truck tips and our fruit pours out, flooding the pool with billions of berries. I can't wait any longer. I reach in and grab a handful. My lips pucker as I crunch and munch the tart and tangy fruit. Finally, I say, time for eating. Day after day and week after week, we harvest. As the last leaves fall, we deliver our final truckloads of cranberries. So do you see all these beds of cranberries? It looks like they've boomed them all into a pot here, and they're halfway here, and they're just starting over here. One frosty morning, I follow my nose to the kitchen. The oven door clangs and bangs as Mom takes out cranberry pies. Yes, I cheer. Time for Thanksgiving. So I imagine if you are a cranberry grower, cranberry pie would be what you would want. I know most people have pumpkin pie, but cranberry pie sounds good. And turkey and rolls, and looks like peas or some kind of vegetable. I love every season on our marsh, but I think fall will always be my favorite. For cranberry growers like me, fall means it's time for cranberries. So here's a picture of a beautiful cranberry pie. They've even put special pastry that looks like leaves along the edge. Doesn't that look good? What else can you make out of cranberries? Just go ahead and shout them out. What have you eaten? Here's some ideas. Just dried cranberries, cranberries from a can, or cranberry sauce, cranberry juice, cranberry cake, cranberry cookies, cranberry muffins, cranberry fluff, and a cranberry salad pilaf, I think. Yum! Lots of wonderful things can be made out of cranberries. So if you eat cranberries this month, remember, thank a cranberry farmer for cranberries.